What if I told you that for millions of men, depression doesn't look like sadness, that it doesn't show up as the tearfulness we've been taught to expect? Instead, it looks like anger. It looks like a short fuse over the smallest problems. It looks like working 60-hour weeks, burying yourself in a job to escape what's happening inside. It might even look like a sudden obsession with a new, risky hobby, driving too fast, gambling, or drinking too much. The classic signs of depression are only half the story. And for men, relying on that incomplete picture is dangerous. Male depression often goes undiagnosed, hidden by coping behaviors that get mistaken for stress, a bad mood, or just men being men. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on the invisible battle millions of men are fighting. We're going to break down the surprising physical and behavioral signs of male depression that everyone, partners, family, and friends, needs to know. This isn't just about awareness. It's about saving lives. Because while women are more likely to be diagnosed with depression, men are far more likely to die by suicide, often because the depression that led them there was never seen or treated. Let's start with one of the most common masks male depression wears: physical pain. Society has long told men to man up and suppress their emotions. But that pressure doesn't make the feelings go away. It just forces them to show up in different physical ways. That's why many men are more likely to see a doctor for a physical symptom than an emotional one. This can be persistent headaches with no other cause, a constant feeling of tightness in your chest, or digestive problems that just won't quit. It can be chronic pain in your back and muscles, or a profound bone-deep fatigue that no amount of sleep can fix. It can also show up as a loss of sexual desire or performance issues, like erectile dysfunction, which is a very common symptom for men with depression. Because these are real, physical issues, both the man experiencing them and even his doctor might not connect them to mental health. They might blame stress, overwork, or just getting older. But often, these physical ailments are the body's way of sounding an alarm that the mind is in distress. Think of it as the check engine light for a deeper problem. If you or a man in your life is chasing physical symptoms from one doctor to another with no clear diagnosis, it's worth considering if the root cause might be depression in disguise. When you picture depression, you probably see sadness and hopelessness. But for a huge number of men, the main emotional symptom isn't sadness at all, it's anger. This can look like a short temper, constant irritability, or blowing up over minor issues. It's like a constant simmering rage that can boil over with little to no warning. This anger isn't a personality flaw, it's a symptom. Studies show that men with depression often experience more anger and hostility. Why? For one, society has historically made it more acceptable for men to show anger than sadness. Phrases like, "boys don't cry," teach men from a young age to bottle up feelings of hurt, which then get rerouted and come out as aggression. Anger can feel powerful, like you're in control, which is the opposite of the perceived weakness of despair. Of course, this can be incredibly destructive. It can damage relationships with partners, kids, and friends, who might just see an aggressive or difficult person, never realizing it's a cry for help. It's so important to look past the outburst and ask what's underneath. Is this really about the minor thing that triggered it? Or is it a sign of a much deeper pain that has no other way out? Recognizing anger as a flag for depression can be a complete game changer in getting men the help they actually need. If any of this is hitting close to home, either for you or someone you care about, just take a second to acknowledge that. Recognizing the problem is the first and bravest step. It's hard to see these patterns when you're in the middle of them, and because finding help can feel overwhelming, we've put together a list of resources in the description below, with mental health hotlines and groups focused on men's mental health. Please, don't struggle alone. Even just sharing this video could be a quiet way to reach out to a friend who might be showing these signs. Now, let's get back to the other ways. Depression hides in plain sight. Another way men try to cope with internal pain is by creating external chaos. It's a form of escapism, and it often looks like risky or reckless behavior. It's a way to feel anything other than the numbness inside, or simply to distract from the emotional storm. One of the most common escape routes is substance abuse. Men are more likely to use alcohol or drugs to self-medicate their feelings. It might start as a way to numb the pain or quiet anxious thoughts, but it quickly becomes a destructive cycle where the substance makes the depression even worse. This isn't just letting off steam. It's a dangerous coping mechanism for an untreated illness. But the escapism doesn't stop there. It can also be reckless driving, compulsive gambling, or picking up dangerous hobbies out of the blue. This isn't just a midlife crisis. It's often a sign of lowered impulse control that's directly linked to depression. A more socially acceptable form of this is workaholism. A man might pour himself into his job, working nights and weekends, not from ambition, but to avoid being alone with his own thoughts. He gets praised for his work ethic, but really, he's running from an internal crisis. These behaviors are all attempts to outrun depression. They give a temporary rush or distraction, but they do nothing to solve the actual problem. In fact, they usually create new ones, adding to the guilt and hopelessness that fuel the depression in the first place. One of the cruelest tricks depression plays is convincing you to pull away from the very people who can help. For men, this social withdrawal can be a slow, quiet fade. It might not be dramatic. It's a pattern of isolation that's easy to write off as just being busy or tired. He might stop returning friends' calls. He might always have an excuse to skip social events he used to love. Maybe he comes home from work and immediately disappears into the garage or in front of a screen, creating distance from his own family. This isn't him being antisocial. It's about the massive loss of energy and motivation that depression brings. Socializing can feel like climbing a mountain when you're struggling just to get through the day. This isolation is incredibly dangerous. It cuts off support systems and reinforces the false belief that nobody understands or cares. It also feeds the stigma, because men are often taught to be blind. They may feel ashamed to admit they're struggling and believe they should handle it on their own. Withdrawing lets them hide what they see as a weakness, but it only makes the loneliness and despair deeper. If you notice a man in your life slowly pulling away or losing interest in the people and things he once loved, see it for what it could be: a major warning sign. So depression in men often doesn't look like sadness. It wears disguises. It can show up as chronic pain and fatigue. It can feel like a constant state of anger and irritability. It can look like reckless behavior, drinking too much, working too much, or taking huge risks. And it can lead to a quiet withdrawal from friends, family, and life itself. These signs are missed far too often because of the pressure on men to be strong, stoic, and keep their emotions buried. But we have to change that conversation. Acknowledging that you're in pain isn't weakness. It's an act of incredible courage, and asking for help isn't failure. It's the first step toward getting your life back. If this video resonated with you, please know that you are not alone. Millions of men are going through this, and recovery isn't just possible, it's what's expected with the right support. Your journey to feeling better can start right now. Talk to someone you trust. Talk to a doctor. Use the resources we've linked in the description. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more content on mental health and share this video. You truly never know whose life you might change just by putting this information in front of them. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.